Welcome to the program. This is the People's Bench. We are coming to you from Muthu Silver Springs Hotel here in Nairobi, a very wonderful place where you can just come and relax with your family for conferencing facility. You just want to have some lunch in a 5-star hotel, there is the place to be. And for more, you can scan the QR code on your screen right there and you will be able to find out much more about Muthu Silver Springs Hotel in Nairobi. I am your host, Fred Ogweno, and tonight we are looking at issues, the politics in the mountain. RIGGY has come back from the US. He's taking the country by a storm, and everybody from the government seems to be scared. They are worried, what is he gonna do? He's shaking the mountain after climbing it not only in Kenya but in the US too. And to discuss this, dissect it and talk more about it, I'm privileged to have one of the politicians from the mountain, from the Mount Kenya region. He's from Tharaka, specifically Tharaka constituency. His name is James Nyaga. He's here to help us understand more about Mount Kenya politics. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How
Welcome
are you?
to the bench.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana, my brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is Tharaka?
Tharaka is good.
Yes.
People are cool.
Good.
No more issues of politics.
You may introduce yourself further in case there is something that you think I've left out about yourself to our audience.
Oh yeah, it's a hand to introduce someone. I mean oneself, but my name is Nyaga, James Nyaga, born domiciled in Tharaka Nithi. I'm a researcher, I'm an educationist, I'm an author with Oxford University Press. I'm a leader, a politician for the Mara. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Straight to the business of the day.
Yeah.
The mountain, the politics of the mountain. How serious is one-term movement?
It's very serious. I mean, people in the mountain have said goodbye to this government. Not until we meet again, no. But they have said they want to move on. So I think the people of mountain, like many other parts of this country, have moved on. There is nothing which is really left for the people, for the government to do to save the situation. I doubt there is.
Moving on, but you are still in the government. The deputy president is from Mount Kenya region specifically. Your region, you have more than 7 cabinet secretaries. You have so many PSs. Yeah. Why are you saying that you have moved on and your people have not resigned from the government?
Yeah, so they shouldn't resign. You know, being in government is a constitutional right. That is to say, even those who never voted for the government can still be in the government because this country belongs to all of us. So it's not like a favor when you're in government, or rather when you form the government. It's not a favor to give anybody who never voted you a position. I want to believe whoever is in the government, virtually because they have a position, I want to believe that they're there because the president or the regime thought they would probably help them deliver the mandate. So there is nothing like saying your people shouldn't resign. No, a government is an entity. In fact, it's no one's. It's an entity. So it belongs to all of us as Kenyans, whether democratically want to be in the choir or not. It is the government of the day. So there is no point in saying that because your people or a few guys are in the government, all of you are in the government. A good example, or a classical example would be, if your sister is in a certain school, you cannot be a student in that school. Yeah. So ordinarily, we are saying the people have moved on. They feel they want an alternative, and the way the atmosphere is, there is no turning back. That's what I think. What
is it that Kasongo has done for the mountain that makes you people hate him so much that you want him to be a one-term president?
I think I would wish to say that this is not about Mount Kenya. Ordinarily, anybody from coast, anybody from northeastern, from Nyanza, or from western, collectively they're saying this is a one-term government. And the reason is because governments are formed to enable people to thrive. The essence of a government is to provide an enabling environment for everyone to thrive. And then the people are left to enjoy their lives. Now, if that is not happening, then it becomes flimsy. Every government is, put to power through a manifesto. Now, the manifesto that was said, or that was communicated to us, is not working. there is a lot of dishonesty in this government. There's a lot of misappropriation in this government. There is a lot of corruption in this government. Basically, there is nothing that is working. I mean, it's a government of ghost things. Ghost schools, ghost hospitals, ghost this, ghost that. To a point that we even have ghost workers, I think, more than another time before. But more importantly, Fred, I think what we should be thinking about as a country is about how is this government, for example, using the mandate and the resources which is within it. For example, we're seeing a government, I mean, for the first time, a government dishing out money, handouts. A government cannot be ran through handouts. Like people say, you know, this government is not delivering. And then they look at tweets that saying that could probably be Fred. Then they call you for handouts. Then people are like, you know, mobilized into a room, into a field, and they're given money. That can never be how. And so cumulatively we are saying it was a mistake and you're not ready to make the same mistake.
Oh, it was a mistake to elect William Ruto, I mean, by the people from the mountain?
Yes, it was, because I've told you the essence of any government, principally, is to provide an enabling environment for everyone to thrive. If you're employed, a government should provide an environment whereby you're able to save. But look, they said, they read in the pay slips and said they want your pay slip. They want to determine how and when you build your house. Unfortunately, these houses don't belong to anybody. They are built in public lands, and so there's no way constitutionally you can own that house. Now, people that are in business, they were hit hard through taxes. Today, for the first time, we are having people doing fundraisers for students in the universities. That's historical. Today, the capitation in high school, the basic education, the capitation has been reduced from 22,000 to 16,000. That is to mean anybody, including you and I, will bear heavily so what you call black tax, which means the money that you are supposed to use to enjoy yourself, you will not use it for that. Instead, that money will be taken to, you'll be taking that money to fundraisers, to Arambis. Today, every one of us here after this show, if you go to your WhatsApp group, to your WhatsApp application, you find many fundraising calls for this, for that. Look, how would you explain that, for example, the health infrastructure that we used to have called NHIF, that the current regime came and told us, look, we have a better infrastructure, and so it's SHA. But look at the biggest scandal today is in SHA. And the minister is running from right, left, and center, trying to blame an hospital here, a dispensary there, and health center there. You know, you've seen how sometimes money being taken from treasury to non-existing schools, ghost schools, ghost dispensaries. That is not how, and we cannot be party to this.
I hear you. But some people would argue that some of these problems did not start with President William Ruto. That even during Uhuru, during Kibaki, they were there. But you people from the mountain did not agitate, did not come out and say that Uhuru was to be given one term. Some people would say that maybe you have a problem with where William Ruto comes from.
What would be the problem with William Ruto? I mean,
that because he's not a Kikuyu.
I mean, what I would wish to state here categorically is that I would love that the national discourse gets elevated from regionalism to nationalistic approach. Look, when SHA is not working, it's not working for everybody, including people in Northeastern where the minister comes from. Look, when capitation has been reduced, it's not only for Kamarandi Day Secondary School where I come from. It goes all the way to Rongo. So these, you know, I think this government wants to behave like, they want to use propaganda as a tool of administration. I think it must have been heard of Hitler who said, if you want to create a propaganda, it's easy. Create a lie, make it simple, repeat it severally, people will believe. The government wants to create a propaganda and start propagating that, you know, this is a Mount Kenya issue. It's not. This is a national issue. And that's what why would they want to say, if I was born in Nyanza, I would speak the same way I'm speaking today against this current background. If I was born in Mijikenda, I would have spoken the same. Even during Uhuru's time, when things never worked, we told him point blank. You remember when he wanted to do, I think he was kind of piloting unhealthy program, and he piloted with some, I think, 6 counties. We told him no. You remember Uhuru wanted to bring this housing thing in a big scope. We told him no more. Take it slow. Look, this has nothing to do with you as the president. It has everything to do with how the administration is functioning. If it's not functioning, it's not functioning, bro. Even if it were Fred today, good as you are, my friend, I will tell you, no, this isn't working. Yeah. So this is not about Mount Kenya, and I wish we get to elevate that discussion from a region to the nationalistic approach. Let me tell you this. Even if your mother today was the deputy president, apart from the fact that maybe you'll be a beneficiary of the trickle downs, there's no other thing. When you go to school, when you go to the hospital, you pay for these facilities as everyone else. You know? And people, look, let me ask you, for example, if you see people say, we are talking about this because you come from Mount Kenya. That's not the case. Today, for you to pay for SHA, you have to do that. You have to pay for the whole year premium. That is so insensitive, because not all of us are able to pay a premium for a year. That is why many people, in a population of 30 people in this country, only one has a healthy cover with an insurance company. That tells you our abilities are not the same. So if someone is thinking about, when something is not working, they think this is a Mount Kenya issue. It's not. Today, we are having a governor of Kericho impeached. He doesn't come from Mount Kenya. Today, we are having Sakaja. He's on the radar. He doesn't come from Mount Kenya, and it's not Mount Kenya MCs that are saying they want to impeach him. And these problems are all over. So these are national issues, and we should address them as national issues. You get what I mean? Yeah.
I hear you. And how are things in the mountain? Paint for us a picture of how things are in terms of this one-term movement, in terms of these people saying that Kasongo must go and all these things.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, we are done, and I'm saying this in confidence, we are done with the current regime. Okay? In fact, people are saying it's anybody but Ruto. You know what I mean? Anybody but Ruto. That is to say, if Red, for example, be on the ballot against the current president, you can count yourself the next president.
Oh my.
That's it.
You will not begin thinking that Amaluo?
No, it's anybody but Ruto. And this is nothing. Many of us, by the way, were darlings of the current president, because we were meant to understand that, or rather we were meant to think that he meant what he said. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Look, people are saying there's a lot of misappropriation. People are saying the people in the government do not look sensitive. The kind of lifestyle they live, the way they speak with hubris and pride is not what we want. People want a moment of conversation. The biblical version, come, let us reason together. Isaiah 1:18. Come, let us reason together. We've had moments of conversations. We had moments when we said, look, can we talk about these things? This is too much. We can't bear this as a country. But the regime kept on lying after lying, and promise after promise. And the worst I'm seeing with this regime is that it's preaching hope. A government should not preach hope. It should act hope. All right? So that the religious groups, the faith, the religious groups and faith-based institutions are left to preach hope. But the government should act hope. So that whatever decisions they make, whatever moves they do, then those moves, those decisions inspire hope.
I hear you.
And I'll give you a classic illustration. I come from Tharaka, for example. And I would have expected that at least, because our problems are not many. Our problems in Tharaka Nithi and Tharaka are not many. We simply need water. We need jobs. We need a working education system. And then we need a road transport and communication network. None of those issues has been addressed entirely. Or even none of those issues we can say there are moves that are inspiring hope towards, for example, creating job opportunities. None of those issues, for example, you cannot say there is a step we have seen that shows or that inspires hope that very soon we shall be having enough water in Tharaka Nithi or in Tharaka, for example. None of the issues and the things they do has inspired hope in the sense that, oh, look, this is where this tarmac road was before elections. It's now like a few kilometers away. We have hope. So that hope is not inspired. That's what I'm saying. The current government is doing the wrong things, concentrating on the minor and, not concentrating on what they should be concentrating.
But they are empowering youth. The other day we saw youths in State House, and we are seeing a lot of empowerment. Deputy President Kindiki working with a lot of money, dishing them out every weekend.
Yeah, I think if that is what empowerment means, then Cambridge Dictionary must revisit the definition of empowerment. You see, there is development and there is sustainable development. Now, if, for example, I brought you food here, or I brought you a shirt today, or I gave you 200 or 1,000, or even 10,000 today, that's not empowerment. That's actually the culture of handouts and tokenism. What happens is when people are given handouts, one, they become lazy. Today, this government will have left what we call political poverty 20 times than they found it. Political poverty. Like there is a good gentleman in the village who will dress like Fred today and go to by the roadside just to try and network whether there is a politician in the area. To try and network whether people have been gone to State House. To try and network to know whether when is the next day in which market they can go take 3,000 or 5,000. So what that does, it creates over dependency. Then it makes people very lazy, and then it dilutes the real essence of government, which I said is to provide an enabling environment for everyone to thrive. That person who is doing agriculture should be enabled to transport their goods or maybe services to the nearest buyer.
I hear you, my brother.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
So handouts and tokenism can never change a country, can never change a society.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Let's move forward a little bit now to the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You are saying that William Ruto is that bad that he should go home. And not just you. But how is he going to go home? This guy defeated Raila Odinga when he was having the support of Uhuru Kenyatta. He had the military, he had the police, and everybody was in we're in the hands of Uhuru. How are you gonna send him home with all these powers and the money that he has?
Yeah. I think you are now confirming what Adolf Hitler said, that if you want to create a lie, as I said earlier, if you want to create a propaganda, create a lie, make it simple, repeat it severally, people believe. Look, any government that is overthrown constitutionally is overthrown with a military base, with the money, with the systems and everything else. So this one cannot be, look, Trump was a one-term president in the US with everything. There's none of those things that you mentioned, whether money, power, influence, whatever it is, that the current Kenyan president has more than Trump had. You see, in a democracy like ours, numbers got a meaning. And numbers are saying, look, this is a must. We got an assignment ahead of us, and this is a must-do assignment. And this assignment is to send this government packing. If for any reason after we send him packing in 2027 and he feels like maybe he will have repentant his sins and want to have a comeback in 2032, that's a different story. But as it is now, I would say this without fear of any contradiction: Kenyans have moved on.
Where are these numbers going to come from?
Everywhere. I mean, where are they not? Where do you think they are not? They are everywhere. So when you talk about defeating Raila Odinga, defeating that and that, that's okay. But I will tell you, this guy, the current president, is a beneficiary of lies, and also a beneficiary of the fact that we are so religious. Remember what the late Professor Mbidi said, that Africans are notoriously religious. So because of our religiosity, then he was able to, play the card of a faithful person, an extremely honest person, that president who understands you and I better than anybody else. But look, we have seen that's not working. And that's why I will tell you here, the good thing with the lies, it got some expiry dates.
Are we really religious or we are tribal?
Both.
Because to an extent,
we're actually more religious than we are tribal. I will tell you here. You see, the things people want to say here, out here, that, for example, and I think you asked this question whether RIGGY, for example, is the king of the mountain.
Yes.
I would tell you, is what I would call primus inter pares, like first among equals, because we have second governors having the second term. For example, my governor Muthoni Njuki is having a second term. We have Nyaga and Waiguru. We have the current deputy president, Professor Kindiki, even though he's on the other side but we are very optimistic that it will be changing camp before we get the elections.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, he got a bigger future compared to the current president.
RIGGY says that he's a yes man. All he says is to say, all he does is to say yes.
I don't want us to.
Okay.
To bring that is to get to Professor Kithure Kindiki as a person. We got tremendous respect for him as a scholar, as a politician, as a leader, So we got tremendous respect for him. Actually, what we are saying, we're telling him is, look, the side that you are in is likely to taint your history. Okay. In fact, some of us are employing Kithure Kindiki to cross the rank with the opposition, to come to the opposition, because we feel he's in a government that is playing piggery, and so he's likely to be dirtified in this government. And you see, we also want our president in the future. If this government misuses him, as they more or less they are doing, giving him money without power, by the way, they're giving him.
Kindiki has money without power. You can say that again.
Yeah, I mean, that I can say.
This is the people's bench. We just say it the way it is.
Yeah, giving him money without power. This is what I mean. The power of any government official is in the amount of accounting officers that he controls, or rather that he has brought on the table. Since he became the deputy president, we have seen many lists of ambassadors, many lists of appointed people. We haven't seen one that would say this one has the blessings of the president. What we are seeing is people paraded to kind of, control him away from, he's in the presidency. And so we believe that he is not given enough space. Because tell me, I've never believed that Kithure Kindiki, for example, hates Tharaka Nithi or anybody else. Okay? So I believe if he empowers, for example, he would have negotiated tarmac in a block of, say, 300 kilometers of tarmac in Tharaka Nithi, for example. Or I want this amount of cubic meters of water in Tharaka constituency, which is a semi-arid constituency. Or he would have said, I want this number of factories in Tharaka, for example, in Tharaka Nithi. Yeah. So we are not seeing that. What we are seeing is a principal assistant who has been, reduced to a batman, sorry to say. So that's what we're saying. The earlier Professor Kithure leaves this government, the better for us, because we want to groom him for presidents as well. In 2032, because tell me, how would he become a president if he's stuck with the current president? It's not possible, practically possible. Even if whatever happens, and God forbid that he don't win again, even if they won again, that formula has never worked in Kenya. There is no deputy president who has become a president while still subscribing to the ideologies of the sitting president. Look, Musalia Mudavadi was a deputy president in Kenya. Did he become president? Kalonzo Musyoka was a president of Kenya, a deputy president, a VP. Did he become one? So, I mean, Mude Awori was a deputy president. He never became president.
William became, but the difference is the approach. William started, countermanding. He started his own way. Immediately they got elected, He said, no, me, I'm not working with Uhuru. And he painted everything bad in this country against Uhuru. The same way RIGGY is doing, painting everything bad against William.
That's okay. So it's an approach that has worked before. So that's why I'm saying with tremendous respect, we are waiting for Professor Kithure to cross to the other side and become a member of opposition. And as the opposition, or rather as the one-term Supremo in Tharaka Nithi, because that's who I am, I will negotiate a good space for him in opposition.
You are the one-term Supremo in Tharaka Nithi?
Yes, I'm the one-term Supremo in Tharaka Nithi.
And you are going to vie for Tharaka Nithi constituency?
Yes,
member of parliament?
I'm vying for member of parliament for the Tharaka constituency. We want to, for Tharaka. We want to, our message is simple. We want to end poverty through public participation, collaborative action, fighting handouts. That's what we want to do. Because I come from the school of thought that thinks that there is no way a community can progress through handouts. And I've given you illustrations. In many of these marketplaces where handouts has been rampant, you find people dressing very well, grooming in the morning, and they go to the market just to wait for a politician to come. That is not an approach you can use. We want a working nation. We want a working Tharaka. We want a Tharaka where people can have a conversation.
And George is called George
Murugara.
Murugara.
Yes.
I saw you the other time apologizing on social media to the people of Tharaka, to the people of Kenya,
yes,
on his behalf. Why were you doing that?
Yeah, I was apologizing on his behalf and to the general public, because I have a strong feeling, just as many others, that Honorable Murugara doesn't represent the wishes of the people of Tharaka. He has been embarrassing us oftentimes. You remember when Koimburi and Mokonji were abducted? He said they abducted themselves. And then you couldn't place your fingers on the motivation. Why would you abduct yourself, for example? As the chair of JILAC, I would have expected him to either apologize to the nation or probably say, let's give the police service a chance, or rather some space to investigate. That would have been wiser. Then the other day you heard what the president said. He's saying that JILAC pocketed 10 million. And he happens to be the chair of JILAC. So that from those perspectives, and then you also saw him dish out cabbages to fight hunger in the constituency. And in 2023, you saw him do a very big bash, and people were burnt in the party because they were fighting for meat. The other day you saw him distributing pumpkins. That is not a representation.
But pumpkin is very nutritious. Cabbage is food.
But this is what I'm calling handouts. How sustainable can that be? How can you purport to farm for the whole constituency? Now he wants to become the governor. How will he farm for the whole county? So that is the reason. And I want to clarify here. I hold nothing personal against the current member of parliament for Tharaka. Nothing personal. This is about ideological differences. He believes one is a strict capitalist. He's a strict capitalist. I'm a Democrat. He believes in handouts. I believe in empowerment, sustainable development and empowerment. He believes in, he believes in ensuring people don't thrive. I believe in enabling people to thrive.
Thank you, my brother. As we are winding up, tell me, young people like you, young people like us are retreating to their ethnic cocoons when politics, when elections come. How are we and when are we going to change this country? When are we going to think beyond our ethnic names, beyond the region where we come from? And when are we, this generation, going to put our country forward when we will say that come what may, we are going to elect credible leaders? Look at what is happening with our counties. Plunder, corruption everywhere.
So I think the element of tribalism has to be looked from two perspectives, as I said earlier. I don't have a problem if, for example, people from Turkana region, if they think there is an issue that affects them as a people, let them bring their issues on the table. Let the people of Tharaka bring the issues on the table. Let the people of Mijikenda bring the issues on the table. Then when we come to the national level, we can look at those issues independent of each other, and in a broader perspective to have some regional balancing. Even our constitution, by the way, talks about regional balancing. When the spirit of that constitution, and I want to believe the spirit and the letter of the constitution, when it talked about regional balancing, what are these regionals? I mean, which are these regions? They meant more or less people that live in eastern, the former eastern. One or the other, they have some geographical and historical sharing.
Thank you.
Now, I don't see anything wrong with the people from Kikuyu, for example, raising their issues. But there is anything wrong with someone who comes to power, instead of addressing the issues of Kikuyus, the issues of Luo Nyanza, the issues of Turkana, is start now, propagating the idea of tribalism. That when Onyango speaks, instead of people asking what is Onyango saying, they start thinking about what are Luo saying. I think it's the wrong approach. Look, Tanzanians have more than 100 tribes or ethnics, but they're okay. They live harmoniously. So I want to say this. I'm not saying that a Tharaka should become a Luo. Nor am I saying that a Kikuyu should become a Luya. But I'm saying all of us can coexist in this town, in this country, in this constituency, and this kind of thing. So what I'm asking for the young people to do,
even as we are, you may look at this camera as you are speaking
my parting shot is young people, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and everyone who feels like they missed a point in rewriting the history of this country. Can we all join hands, rewrite our history, our political history without handouts, history without tribalism, and history that values human beings and humanity?
Thank you. And that is very powerful. That can we reevaluate and rewrite our history without ethnicity, without tribalism, without corruption. That is what Honorable James Nyaga is saying, and that is his call. And with that, we come to the end of our program tonight. I've been your host, Fred Ogweno. We were looking at the issues, the mountain and one-term movement. He says that the mountain is gone, that regardless of what William Ruto does, they are ready to send him home and make him a one-term president.
Sure.
Those were your words, not my words.
Quote them.
Mountain is gone.
Quote and revisit them.
Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.